This is WFO Radio.
WFO, how's everybody doing out there? We are back in the WFO studios following the Dodge SRT NHRA US Nationals. How great was that? Everything but Saturday. Saturday was less great than the rest of it, but we had a good time regardless. We've got some winners on this show, and you might have noticed like the generic, we got winners because everybody is traveling back and getting ready for Maple Grove, and it is just a land rush out there. But we have caught up with Eddie Krawiec, and we're going to have Jackie Fricke, top alcohol dragster winner. It's like all Jersey. This is exclusive Jersey. And, you know, my parents are from Jersey too, so I consider myself Jersey at some level. And so this is it. Drag racing fans of Jersey, unite, because we are going to have winners from New Jersey on this show. Jackie Fricke and, of course, Eddie Krawiec, just seconds away. I do want to tell you about the people who made it possible for me to be out there doing WFO during this break, during this indie like extravaganza, whatever you want to call it. For instance, big thanks to Matt Clark of Torque Calibration Services of Australia, Australia's leader in torque tool calibration, repairs, sales, service, all authorized service center for all the leading torque manufacturers. Thank you, Matt, for supporting our U.S. Nationals coverage. Really appreciate you. Really appreciate that. Also, our Patreons who have stepped up behind the scenes. WFO Radio, patreon.com. Go and find it, join, and get the behind the scenes stuff that is going on there. And it's actually pretty cool. Total Seal piston rings. They were great as well. We did the trackside tech talk from Matt Hartford's pit area, and we had a packed house. At first it was like, oh, are people going to show up? And then they all showed up, and it was amazing. A lot of engine builders talking about unlocking that hidden horsepower and why. I learned so much. I learned that piston ring technology has evolved greatly over the last 20 years. Go to TotalSeal.com, find out more information, and listen for the next episode of Hidden Horsepower. Also, big thanks to samtech.edu, the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. Start your education at full speed, all you young people out there. Blockhead, CNC programs, motorsport, EFI tuning. The next generation of smart engine builders is coming up through Samtech. Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, the Dragster Adventure at frankhawley.com, where you can drive a dragster. Don't you want to drive a dragster? I know I do. Go to frankhawley.com to find out more information. And, of course, Marvin Rodak, rodaxcoffeeandgrills.com. Hot sauces and spice rubs, grills, tools, tips, information, all at rodaxcoffeeandgrills.com. But try the coffee. It's next level stuff. Our friends at Nitro Fish and, of course, the WFO Radio Store, also worthy of shout-outs. But right now, let's go out to the Vance and Hines work design area. Like they don't even know. As our secret camera reveals, Eddie Krawiec. What's up, Eddie? You work?
What's going on? I'm at work right now. I'm actually in the middle of creating a sales order for a customer. I figured might as well catch up while I'm still talking with you. You know,
I love it. You're a multitasker. You're doing the show.
I was here Monday working. You know, unboxing stuff, getting things ready. So you know, you just it doesn't stop. You win a race, doesn't matter. Move on to the next day and keep getting everything done.
Well, you have to, because drag racing, as much fun and excitement as it creates, it's not the prime directive, right? Vance and Hines has customers all across the two-wheel universe, and they need their stuff, Eddie. They need their stuff. Where's my stuff, Eddie?
We're a business, and I'm in kind of a vital part of the background of the business, as is Andrew and everybody, and handle daily operations here. And we got a lot of guys that, you know, trying to get stuff done. I mean, we had our flat track guys were out racing this weekend in Springfield, Illinois. So they were there, so quarter of our shop was that way. And then we had all the employees out at Indy here this past weekend, and I'm glad they came out. They got to see a great show. And really at that point, they had a good time. You know, how can you complain when you get two Vance and Hines motorcycles in the final?
Well, exactly. But you had to go through one first round to make that happen. We got everybody checking in. Lonnie saying, what's up? People saying, congratulations to Eddie. Your third Indy, Eddie. That's all of a sudden you got this great not all of a sudden, but you got this really great racing resume. You pointed out something kind of cool, though, that this is your first where it was just Vance and Hines, right? Like you alone.
This is, it's kind of unique, obviously, being here. At Vance and Hines for the last 14 years. In the past 13 years for me, I've been underneath, the Harley banner and everything. And Harley chose to go another direction, rolling into the 2021 season. Kind of left us off to the side and just to figure out, okay, here's what the program needs to be. Here's what we're working on. And, Vance and Hines, first we had Mission Foods step up. They kind of jumped on board and are on board on Angel's motorcycle. We worked on putting that program together over the winter because that was the first one that kind of fell in line. And then Andrew and I were on the side burner trying to figure out what we were doing. Were we just mainly crew chiefing a bike all year? Were we going to field the bike? We didn't really know at that particular point. So we missed the first few races, had to decide which direction we were going to go and what we were going to do. And thankfully, Terry and Mike Kennedy and, all the powers to be at Vance and Hines said, hey, guys, we're going to go racing and we're going to do them as a Vance and Hines motorcycle. And Andrew and I obviously were excited to be able to go racing and pop the clutch again and have the opportunity to go race and to do it underneath the Vance and Hines banner. I think for a all Vance and Hines final, have not just our Buell and our Suzuki in the final round at Indy US Nationals was, I guess, no better way to do it. If you're going to do it, go big. And I'd say we did. I almost gave it away a couple times. I had some lucky rounds.
Yeah. Well, let's dive in. So the run against Andrew, though, that wasn't predetermined. He wants to win. You want to win, but you just had a much better run. He had some problems out there. And that was kind of like, which of the two of you were going to carry the flag for the rest of the day? Angel on the other side of the ladder. And it was you, went 684.8, 009 reaction time. So you got your competition on for that first run.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, we were both racing to be in the top 10, essentially. The only person really that could have knocked us both out at that point was Corey Reed. And he's a Vance and Hines customer. So, it was kind of a weird deal because it fell where Angel had to race against him and really came down to her having to beat him. And, she did. Fortunate enough, she got the win light on that pairing, and that kind of locked us into the top 10. And then me and Andrew both knew, no matter what, we were both going on. So that was kind of a good feeling and something that worked out. We were just kind of racing for a position at that point. I knew, and he knew. We both looked at the points prior in the week, and we're staring at it. And one day at lunch, he's like, well, I'm going to be fourth probably after the Indy week. And I'm like, well, I'm planning on being fourth, so we'll have to race for it. And it's just weird the way that it all happened. You never want to race your teammate first round. It's a bad position. That whole qualifying scenario that we had this past weekend was kind of really weird, only getting one hit on the track. We changed everything on our motorcycles going there. We were hoping to have that opportunity to go test. St. Louis looked like it was going to be about 1,000,000 degrees is what they were saying, and rain. So we just opted not even to go and test and just kind of roll in there and let the cards fall the way they do.
All right. Speaking of that, we're going to get to your second round matchup, but I just want you to give some insight into the red lights, right? There were so many red lights, pro stock motorcycle. And what I noticed, and that red lights are like infectious, right? Like there's none and no one has one, but then there's one and one makes two and two make four. And all of a sudden people start thinking like, I don't want a red light. And then you're red lighting. What about that? Someone said the pressure, but also the Saturday rain out, right? Michael Ray goes, dude, you rain out, sit in the rain for 12 hours the day before. He goes, it just rings you tight. Like, is it that? Is it the U.S. Nationals?
No, I mean, yes, I agree. I understand what he's saying there, but I chalk it up to pressure. Most people, when they're in that situation, know that they need to perform or want to go rounds. And, that's when you make mistakes. You kind of change your routine a little. You do some things a little different. The big thing is it's the pressure on your shoulders. And then you see somebody go red and then you start thinking about, well, heck, I don't want to go red. I like going last because I like watching all that kind of unfold. It doesn't bother me. I could watch 10 people go red in my lane, and I'm going to tell you I'm not going to go red. I have my level of confidence in that area I feel is good, and I never really worry about that side of it. But that's really what I chalk that up to. I think it's the pressure. When you get into this time of the year, you usually see that start happening a little bit more.
Got it. Well, Michael Phillips went red to you second round, but the driver can only do so much, right? Like you can't, he was deep red. So I imagine he had some sort of maybe technical glitch. He was like a 1 red, something like that.
Yeah, I
But
think it was like 150 or something like, something.
you didn't get down the track. And that's my point is it's only the rider driver is only a part of the combination. And if you have to be 001 as opposed to 11, then you're probably going to have problems anyway. Your bike didn't go down the track. If he'd have been 40, you would probably he would have won. And
I think he would have won.
Wow.
See, and the reason why I say that is, so I felt really comfortable on the tree all weekend. I came off the truck, went 00 in qualifying on my 1 hit, and against Andrew, I felt, I could go 00 all day long here without even a worry. As long as I hit the tree consistent, stage consistent, I'll be teen to 00. So that's what I did against Andrew. Against Michael, I had a little bit of a reserve. Obviously, I knew I had that bike covered by a little bit, but we're kind of struggling a little bit with the tune-up, and it showed there that round. The bike should have never bogged, and it did. I do know what it was, and I do have it fixed now, and so I don't have to worry about that anymore. But against Joey, I turned it up a little bit just to make sure it was fixed, and it blew the tire away, so it went back to the reaction times that round as well. And when you look at it, so against Michael, it was one thing. The bike bogged, shouldn't have, never expected it to happen, and it did. So it was like, heck, man, he got away with it. But I pulled the clutch in rather than run it all the way down. The bike drove a little bit right when it bogged. It's a characteristic of me riding. When the thing bogs, it throws me forward, and then I always my right arm, because you're holding the throttle, you pull it back a little bit, tries to drive you right. So I just shut it off. No reason to run it all the way down through there. But I probably would have only went 17 or high 7.0 or something like that, which in a 30 or 40 situation, he would have got a win line.
Wow. And that is exactly it. And we saw it several times. The semifinal, you mentioned running Joey. Joey is a lever. He's 18, you're 15. And so you were able to get down there and have that great reaction time to go to the final round. Meanwhile, Angel is on the other side of the ladder, getting through Corey first round, a critical run, getting around Steve Johnson second round, getting through last year's winner, Scotty Polachek, who went red, but would have been defeated anyway, judging on Angel's numbers. I don't know if that makes Scotty feel any better, but it just looks like a statement of fact at that point. And now you got Angel, which we had fun with that. You told us in the media center, though, and it makes perfect sense that for Angel to just arrive at the track at all was in many ways a miracle. They got walloped down there in Louisiana by the hurricane, and Jerry Savoy couldn't make it. There's so much talking about you being back at work, right? Like it was just a challenge for her to get there at all. When I saw her there, it was like, oh, wow, thank goodness Angel made it. So I don't know if you guys were to your normal poking fun before a final round kind of thing, but take us in the pit. What was it like? You'd won, Vance and Hines, victory.
I'm going to tell you the truth. It was pure chaos. And the reason why I say that is I rolled to the scales. I shouldn't say the scales. I rolled up to get my time slip up top end, because they have them at the printer now, sometimes occasionally as you turn off the track where Amanda's doing the interviews. I get my time slip, and the guy hands it to me, and he says, hey, just a heads up, you're in the water at 3:55 or whatever time it was, 3:55. And I look, I'm like, that's like 35 minutes. He's like, yeah, 35 minutes. And I was like, holy shit, hurry up. Let's go. Let's roll. And so I immediately in my head, I'm thinking I got to be in a water box in 30 minutes.
Yes.
And I honestly had no thinking about it. Neither did she really. They came off the track because they were second pair. And as I'm rolling, I'm already like pushing my bike down the return road. My brother, who pushes me around, he came. I told him, let's go, hurry up, just throw the scoop covers in, let's roll. And he's like, well, here's your glass. I'm like, let's roll. And I told Scott, who was coming down, I'm like, hey, in the water in 25 minutes. And it was just total chaos because we got back. I had to pull my download and start looking at my computer data. I had my brother and Ray pulling my bike apart and getting the clutch out of it, getting everything going. I had Andrew and Scott working on Angel's bike. And really, it was kind of like a thrash. We were all going. Andrew started working on her tune-up. I started working on my tune-up. And it was kind of a little chaotic. Luckily, we got them all back together, cooled down enough, back and rolled into the staging lanes. And we got there. And the guy's like, minute and a half burnouts. Because, here we are on live network television.
Well,
Fox.
let me ask you your opinion on that. Okay. So if fans maybe don't understand, even the rain out on Saturday, right? Like there was discussion of, well, can we run a second qualifying session Sunday morning before the race? Like what's possible? And it all comes down to, this is a little bit of the trade-off to be on the Fox broadcast network, Big Fox Live with our biggest race. If, that turnaround is so tight, but that's what guarantees you're going to be on Fox and get 1 million people watching or so. And if we get kicked to one of the smaller Foxes, the little Foxes, right? Fox Sports 1 or Fox Sports 2, and it happens at 4:30, then you're going to have 250,000 people watch you win. And so is that worth the extra hassle to be in front of that big audience?
It is for our partners, that at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's, about promoting our brands, Vance and Hines and Mission Foods and everybody that supports us. But man, I'll tell you, it was hell. I've only had that happen one other time, and it was Charlotte a bunch of years ago. I had time slip to time slip was 43 minutes. I didn't really look at what it was because I didn't really care. I just want Indy. So, but, in the end, it worked out in my favor. I was kind of upset with myself because I was like, here I am in the Indy final, and I'm like 47. Like, what idiot goes 47 in the final at Indy, on the tree? So for me, it was all about my reaction time side of it. Even though I got the win light, I got my tune up a little closer. I got a little better. This was a big win for me. And I was just happy. I had my whole family there. I had my little boy there for really the first time that he could understand a race. I mean, he's little more than 2.5 years old. So at least he understands it. He gets to celebrate. And then my daughter and everybody. So it was really cool. And just for it to unroll the way it did was something special.
And you won Indy for the third time, kind of a different kind of win. I like hearing you say that it was chaos. I like that though, because you guys got through it. And we put on a show and we were on the Big Fox and it all worked out for everybody. The only thing that didn't work out was losing Saturday, but my nature, we can't do anything with her. And so now you go into the countdown and you're fourth. For guys that didn't start the season when everybody else started the season, that's good. And you've won a countdown without winning a race in the past, if memory serves me right. Was that a countdown year or was that pre-countdown?
That was a countdown year. It was the second year of the countdown. So it for sure, it works. It can fall anyway. That's the best thing about it. I mean, do I love it? No, I don't. But this year I do, because I would have never had the opportunity to be where I am right this minute. And I'm sure Matt doesn't like it. He's going to lose a bunch of points, but it is what it is. It plays to your favor some years, and some years it works against you. But I don't know. I can't say I love the system and I like the system, but does the system work? Yes, it does. So don't try to fix something that's not broke. In my opinion, keep it the way it is. It works, and it makes for great racing. When you look at Pomona last year and prior years, when you have 2, 3, 4 possible winners, it gets kind of crazy. It makes it very interesting.
Well, exactly. And we're trying to entertain. I hear it all the time from many fans. Oh, the countdown last year, we did not have a countdown year. And, it was what it was. But I just think that the extra bikes closing it up. Now, this year, funny car, we probably didn't need it, right? They were all over the top of each other. This year in bikes, Matt Smith, I don't want to say he had it won. I guess it's possible you guys could have come storming back like Cruz Pedregon in 1992, I guess. But there are few examples of that happening, whereas the countdown provides this craziness. And now, Matt's going to have to rise to the occasion again. And you guys have got a shot, and so do others. And that, to me, is entertaining. And there'll be 11 bikes competing this year.
Yeah.
Not just 10. 11, because Corey made it.
Yeah, 11 through 4 were really up for position this weekend, depending on how the cards fell. I mean, obviously other people could have gone higher, but if you were back in 11th, you could have got all the way to 4th this weekend.
That's amazing.
I think when we were talking on Saturday, I'd mentioned that. I told you I'm gonna be 4. That was my plan. It's like win the race. You come out of here in 4th if you're lucky, and the people in front of me just happened to fall out at the right times that it let me get all the way there. So it was really cool. I saw somebody ask if lane choice was the difference.
Yes. Talk about the lanes. It was a hot topic.
I'll be truthful. I don't think there was a difference between right lane and left lane. I see Jeff here saying right lane was an issue. On the pro stock motorcycle side of things, we're not dealing with the top fuel power that you're trying to put through the middle and things like that. I mean, do we have events that we have one lane racetracks? For sure. The thing that I look at is as long as you can, like our stuff, as long as it goes the first 100 feet, you're going to go pretty much right down that lane. I didn't have any problem in the right lane. For me, lane choice would have been preference for left, just because we had a left-right cross going and you're closer to the wall in the left lane. So the wind tends to go over you a little more, but it would catch you and you had to be prepared for it.
There you go. No, I think it's, look, in the nitro categories, it is what it is, though. Like, there was nothing that anybody was doing to make the lane bad. It had to do with the rain and the way the rain was affecting the concrete and the track, and was holding a little more moisture, and it was just tough stuff. But in the end, Steve Brenwald, our art guy, he did a final rounds winners, left lane, right lane. I think it was 9 each. I think it was even. So it was also a little time in on the track. We had fewer cars going down the racetrack, so the lanes did not come in the same, et cetera, and so on. Eddie, great job. Congratulations. Huge win. And you weren't all eye of the tiger this time. You were chill, but you made it happen anyway. And your countdown forecast, do you have what it takes to win the championship again?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I have a fast motorcycle. Reinhardt came up to me a couple races ago and he goes, "Hey, I used to know this guy, Eddie, that had a fast motorcycle. You know where he is?" And, I'm like, what a dick. But, I'm responsible for the performance of my bike. And it's just, at the end of the day, I struggled a little bit early on in the year. We had some chassis issues. We got a lot of that sorted out coming here. I think you saw a little bit of the advantages. We just got to work on it. And we have to understand, we can't go by our past years of tuning because, we changed everything here as of late. And, so we have some information. I think I have enough data to go to Reading and run really well. So yes, I think all 3 of our motorcycles are championship contention bikes. It's going to be pretty good this year. Just by looking at it, I mean, the way the performance is from a good handful of motorcycles, spoilers are going to be in big effect, in my opinion, because there are a lot of good bikes that may be a little further back in the pack or not where they should be. And if they just, qualifying efforts, if they don't roll the right way, 1 through 4 could have some really serious racers.
Awesome. Well, that is great stuff. Okay, so I mentioned at the start of the show that Jackie Fricke is also going to be on because she won Indy. And she's in the ready room, and I'm going to bring her on because everybody's Jersey all of a sudden. I'm the least Jersey, but my parents are Jersey. And there's Jackie is on, and Jackie is gone. Jackie's on. Jackie is gone. She must really hate you, Eddie. I mean, I don't know what the heck happened. I
actually use her. I could actually tell her, "Hey, Jackie, I need hotels booked for Pomona." She usually books our Pomona hotel, and I just have to send her an email here. I haven't had a chance to as of late, but
tell her she's coming back as soon as you. There she is, Jackie.
I'm a big Jackie supporter.
Well, you have to be, right? With the Jersey connection. Jackie, congratulations. I figured I'd bring you on with Eddie. So you guys are 2 New Jersey Indy winners. Like, come on, that's great.
I have all over pictures of my office with various winner circles with Eddie in them from when he worked at Englishtown Raceway Park.
Well,
Yeah.
exactly. And now you're both winning Indy at the same time. That is pretty cool. And Jackie was dominant on the racetrack, big time, dropping that number, low ET of the event, 514 in the second round or so, or in the first round. Pretty amazing stuff. She went out there and got it done. Eddie, you got it done. You guys are like, Indy winners together. How cool is that?
Like I told you earlier, it as much as you try to play Indy as just Indy, I mean, you want to go there and do the same thing every time, but there's Taylor. You want to say it's the same as every race, and it is, but it's not. It's Indy. I mean, that is the race. If somebody wants to win, like your championship year in Indy together is like, you can't have anything better.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Amazing. Eddie, got a question for Jackie before we let you go. You want to hit her with like a, fastball down the center about
So what was your success to winning Indy?
Definitely the race car, because my nerves got the best of me. I guess, John and I kind of tuned together, and I knew what a fast race car we had, and I knew, what it was capable of. And it was scary fast, where I kind of thought, you're the only one that can mess this up. And I tried a couple times. Probably my worst driving that I've done in 5 or 6 years. And the car was just absolutely unbelievable. John kept we kept making it faster and faster, and just, changing a couple little things. And but Indy is not just another race. And I haven't felt nerves like that in a really long time. And definitely I heard you won. Joe just said you've won it. This is your third time. So
Yep. I've got 3 of them. So, I guess I'm kind of fortunate on that side of it, but I agree. It's one that you want to win, and that's the one thing everybody talks about. Like, for me, it was a career win, because if you have a championship, like, that's like a stat. Hey, this guy has been a 4-time champion, but never won Indy.
Yep.
It's like, what the hell, like, give me some credit.
I know.
But, when I finally got my Indy win, that was when all the weight came off me. I was like, I proved it. I have nothing to worry about now.
Yeah.
So I think it's awesome.
I'm hoping going back to Indy, it gets easier and the nerves get easier. I don't ever remember being this nervous for a race as I was on Sunday. So hopefully it gets easier.
Yeah, for us, it's the countdown cut too, so you got to have all your stuff together, and being a 1.5 points race, if it doesn't go your way, you could actually, I had every possibility of not even making top 10 this year. So now here I'm leaving in 4th, and it's like, okay, we're in good shape.
Yeah. Very good. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations.
This is
I'll
awesome.
make sure Joe gives you your time for your show.
I don't even have to do anything anymore. I just have to guest interview the other guest, and I leave. Guys, I was making a sandwich. It was great watching you guys. Eddie, congratulations. Thank you very much. We'll see you on the countdown. And it's very interesting. Like, the whole point is, if you're an NHRA fan and if you like Pro Stock Motorcycle, you're not going to want to miss anything. That's what this does. Good luck in your championship hopes. Thank you, Eddie.
Good luck, Eddie.
There he goes. Eddie Krawiec with us. I guess he can't hear us for whatever
Yeah,
reason.
now I can. It's cutting. I've gotten like 7 phone calls. So
back to work,
I
Eddie.
Appreciate it. Yeah,
back to work, Eddie.
I appreciate it, and thanks for having me. And I got to send you an email, Jackie. I need some Pomona hotels.
Pomona hotels.
Love it.
Accelerated travel. Remember that.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Ed.
All right. See you guys
Eddie,
later.
There goes Eddie Krawiec. How about that? I just put Eddie on you, and he handles the deal. And yeah, that whole the accelerated travel on the side of multiple race cars out there. That's you guys, like, helping out people go to certain races. And you guys are open to the public, right? If like race fans want a super trip to a go away race and they don't know the right place to be, the right place to stay, the right flight to take, you guys handle all of that, don't you?
A fan came up in the winner's circle on Sunday and asked what accelerated travel was, and I booked a couple rooms for them just this morning. So yes, open to everybody. We pass the discounts on to the racers and the fans, and accelerated travel. Give them a try.
Give them a try. Exactly. Those people at Accelerated Travel. Jackie, you could hear the nerves almost still, right? You won Indy. It's over. But like, I was looking at the lights this morning, and I think it's great because you can win and still have tough nerves. The combination of the car and was the best. But boy, it was an intense Indy with the rain out, with the rain delay, losing a day. I felt it for everybody. And I love when you reveal that this part of driving, sometimes that's tough.
I'm an open book. I wear my heart on my sleeve for sure. My husband was down to 6 cars when I ran the semifinals. And I just, like I said, I couldn't get my nerves together. I couldn't get, John and I kept talking about it, and the car was unbelievably fast. We did something to it that really worked out in our favor. And I guess I told him I need to slow down a little bit because obviously I drive better, needing to be better on the tree.
Well, okay, so just tell everybody exactly what you did to make the car go faster.
Sure, exactly what we did. I will tell you that we have been working on a couple things, and we changed something the second round of the All-Stars. And John and I, before the round, said, okay, we're either going to run really fast here, or there's a chance we might smoke the tires. But we believe that in the long run, it'll be, it'll benefit the whole Indy tune-up. So we went with it, and unfortunately we did smoke the tires. And but we knew we had to run fast against Julie, and as Murphy's Law would have it, she had a hole out and went 5:48. So
but that is the key moment that you won Indy because you made that adjustment.
100%. Yep, 100%. And we backed it down a little bit. And crazy enough, we backed it down a little bit, and first round we went 5:14. So wow. That was my career best, 280. I've been faster than that mile an hour wise, but everything came together right at that second round of the All-Stars.
Wow, that is tremendous. You won the All-Stars a year ago. Julie won it this year, but you got the data that helped you go out and win the biggest race on the planet. And you're now 0.05 of a second off the quickest run of all time, world record, that 5:09. And, it's been Randy Meyer who has really been able to dial up those crazy low 5-second runs. And now you guys are like, you're in the neighborhood now. The McPhillips have been great. Obviously, you ran Matt in the final round, but you beat Rachel in the semis. This was not an easy field to beat, is my point. And you guys elevated. You got better. You did what you would think you would have to do. Find performance to win Indy. That's exactly what you did.
We did. The whole team, everybody works really well together. We had Jared Dreher this weekend helping us. He's driven the car for us a couple times when we've wanted to test things this year. And he was helping us this weekend as well as driving his own car. And John Osherman, flawless as always, just did a great job with the car. We had some quick turnarounds. Like I said, Jared was overworking on his own car along with ours. So my sister Amy, she pinches in and does whatever necessary. Tori and Taylor, recently engaged Taylor, who decided to show me up after
right after your Indy win,
the U.S. Nationals, when they FaceTimed me to tell me, Vincent said, "You kept me single for another day." And I said, "What?" And he said, "Well, you won Indy. I didn't want to steal your thunder." So congratulations. I'm thrilled to Taylor and Vincent Nobile, about to join their lives together, and they're a great couple.
Well, everybody loves Vincent and everybody loves Taylor independently of each other. It only makes sense that they would get together. And plus, you guys have this, discrimination against anybody who's not a drag racer, right? Like not allowed in the family. No, not drag racers allowed in the family to mess up the family vacations and the family hobby. Everybody's got to be on the same page. And
they have to, because that's all we talk about. If somebody else joined that didn't know about racing, they wouldn't really fit in.
Yeah. And, with the Aranas out there, like this drag racing conglomerate is becoming very, very large. I'm very excited for the two of them. And, Vincent coming out, where was that? Epping? That he got down to the semis and super comp? Like
he's awesome. Naturally talented. I've known Vincent since he was about 3 years old. I've been friends with his father for a really long time. And Vincent is he's naturally talented at everything he does, whether it's racetrack oriented, business oriented, tremendous fabricator with his hands, mechanic, anything he does, he's good at.
Taylor's out there, by the way. Don't cry again, Jackie.
Oh,
Yes. And
you're not supposed to tell on me.
Oh, that's no big deal. Marvin Rodak wants to know if you guys are going to Ennis this year. Like, what's the plan for the rest of the year now that you're Indy winners? You just gonna, drop the mic and?
No, we have our goal realistically is the championship. Is Rachel Myers had such an unbelievable year. Mathematically, we can still catch her. Realistically, it's not like we're not going to try, but I think we have to get to the final of our last 3 races. So kind of excited that we have the car that we have right now.
Right. It's not impossible. You found this performance. The car is fast. It's not impossible.
I'm a dreamer, so nothing is ever out of reach for me. If you would have told, nobody in my family had anything to do with Alcohol Dragster, and I tell this story all the time. I drew a picture when I was 7 years old. I decided I was going to drive one of these cars, and so nothing's impossible. That
is great. Okay, so Lonnie just has a question about, Top Fuel. Like, since nothing's ever impossible, Lonnie, one of our listeners out there, does Jackie ever envision a Top Fuel ride in your future? I know you would love to do it, but like, what is the dream on that? Like, how deep does it go?
I always say, this is my honest answer is I would never leave the team that I'm on. We get to race as a family. John Fink's one of my best friends in the whole world. And I always say, if John's ready to go Top Fuel, I'm ready to go Top Fuel.
Nice. And, John's the kind of guy who that's not out of the realm of possibility. That could happen in the right situation. What about John, Indy? Well, how did he handle it?
Unbelievable. John is a very stable person. We'll say, I go like this, and John goes like this. And
he just looks very happy. Look at him there. He's just kind of, we want Indy. This is pretty cool.
He shed some tears. It was really pretty neat. We've had a long time Indy joke, and everybody makes such a big deal out of Indy. And so we always said, if you win Indy, you win Indy. And so all throughout the weekend, we kept joking about that. And he knows that I've dreamt of that for a really long time. We qualified number 1 at Indy a couple years ago and had an unbelievable car then. And we had a mag failure in the semis, and I was devastated. So he knew what it meant to me to win Indy. And like I said, he's a very even keel human, but you could tell this one meant it had some extra special significance for him.
That is great. No, it's Indy. It's supposed to be. And now you've got a new first name. Your first name is no longer Jackie. It's U.S. Nationals winner, Jackie Fricke, and this will be with you forever. And you, like, seconds ago, we set this up. So thank you for coming on the show with Eddie, knock out 2 winners right away. And I just think about what a weekend it was for everybody. The place was packed yesterday, and I'm sure some of it, like combining the Saturday crowd into Sunday also, but doing it in front of so many people, watching you go round after round, tough race, and getting through Rachel, getting through Matt Cummings and the McPhillips, running that low ET of your career, 5:14.7. Like it's one for the record books. Thank you for sharing it with us here on WFO. Any final thoughts for the WFO audience?
Thank you for having me. First of all, I love coming on your show. It's one of my favorites. I always listen to all your podcasts. I do want to thank a couple people that I didn't get to thank.
Do it.
Of course, NGK Spark Plugs, Lucas Oil, always behind me. JE Pistons, VP, Race Fuels, Bonifant Friction makes the best clutches in the business. And I couldn't be here without the people on my team, John Osherman, Al Blake, my sister Amy. Obviously, John Fink gives us the best team, and we want for nothing on our team. If there's something we want to try, he's always open to listening, ideas, everything like that. I'm blessed. I mean, Tori and Taylor do an unbelievable job at social media. Joe, I've told you before, not my forte. They do a great job. And just, I guess, to win something like this, you have to have such amazing people behind you. And I definitely do. And we're returning to Maple Grove, my hometown racetrack, where we're also running the final of the Epping event against Karen Stalba. So
wow.
we have 2 races this weekend.
You got your first win there, right? Your first Alcohol Dragster win there? Yeah. It was on a Monday, and I was there for that, coincidentally, right? Like,
I always our team tends to do, if the pros are over, a rain out, a Monday event, that's when we tend to win. So I love it when, schedule get out of whack and stuff like that. I tend to do really well there. This one was extra special also because it was my 5th event and the first time my husband Sean's been with me. He had not made any of the other national event wins.
Wow.
So
that's crap. Sure, that was eating at him, right? Drag racers are superstitious. I can imagine. Maybe it's me. What's the deal?
I think I said the second sentence. The jinx is over.
The jinx is over. Right. Now he's won the biggest race. Like you've never won Indy when he's not been there.
Yeah. And he got down to 6 cars too. So that was pretty neat. And he got down to 3 cars last year. And I'd been telling him all about the Indy mystique and how awesome Indy is and all the years he hadn't went. And now he believes me.
It's a fact. Okay. Will there be a special U.S. Nationals winners edition of Scare Aunt Jackie?
More than likely, yes.
Good.
You know how many people have asked for that? It's congratulations, Scare Aunt Jackie.
Oh yeah, I thought about bringing it up too, but I just don't want to encourage bad behavior. And then, you drop the Wally or something, and it's my fault. So someone else has got to do that. Jackie, thank you so much. Congratulations. We'll see you this weekend.
Thank you.
It was a great Final Four, and just to see how it was all going to play out. But you guys elevated your game. That's what it's supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to be at Indy. And you did something that you hadn't done to get performance that you didn't have, and it worked, and you got it. You won the race. And who knows what lies ahead, and who knows what's possible. We'll be watching. Got to watch Top Alcohol Dragster to its conclusion. Thank you for that. Great job, and we'll see you this weekend.
Thank you very much for having me. Have a great day.
There she goes, Jackie Fricke, Indy winner, with us here on WFO Radio. Amazing stuff. Now, we got Alan Reinhart tomorrow. I know you're probably wondering. I should have said that at the very beginning, right? Because, the Reinhart fans. But we'll talk to Alan tomorrow. He was traveling today. He's just going straight to Pennsylvania. I came back home to South Florida to handle stuff here in the WFO studios. Later on in the day, we got stuff going on, but I'm going on the air with Jerron Settles. He's doing something. Jerron, put it up in the comment section, bud. Like where we're going to be. They had me on a couple of weeks ago, and according to Jerron, they had record numbers when I was on the show, which is, I think, a fluke. And so obviously he's invited me back again to test. Okay, that's what it is. It's a test of the WFO universe to see if we'll actually watch Jerron. And Joe will join us at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Yes, I will. And Jerron is going to put where it is up in the comments section. But what an event it was. We'll have Alan Reinhart tomorrow. We're going to try to catch up with Wilkerson. We're going to try to catch up with Erica. We're going to try to catch up with Steve-O. That would have to all happen tomorrow. And then Thursday morning, I'm traveling very early. Hey, shout out to one of our listeners, Anthony Troyer. Hopefully everyone stayed dry at Indy, had an amazing time. This guy, in his first ever Indy in Constant Aviation Factory Stock Showdown, gets down to the semifinals. Way to go, Tater. That was awesome to watch. Great racing, crazy, chaotic racing. John Serbone riding a wheel stand to the 8th mile mark, hitting the wall, brushing the wall. But great way to go, Anthony. That was pretty awesome to watch. Not quite as good as Jerron going to the final round last year, but very close. And there's the link to YouTube for the Racers News Network. I'll be on 8 o'clock, and Jerron will ask me questions about things that I didn't see, I'm sure. Right? Like second round and the Jags All-Stars. But I can tell you this, Division 2, baby, Southeastern Division, got after him. Ray Miller, Jacob Rutledge got after him, went out there and won final rounds and took it, just seized it. The Southeastern Division, where the hardcore racers are. Ray Miller's wife went into labor as he won. She's jumping up and down. Ray won. Oh boy, baby coming. Rushed off to the hospital. Just amazing. There it is. American Hot Rod Entertainment. It's not Racers News. That's an old one. Another one. American Hot Rod Entertainment with Gerard Settles. Get on there. Thank you, Gerard. All right, let's see what everybody else has to say. Put your comments in the comment section while I tell you about the people who make it possible for me to do this show. Like Torque Calibration Services of Australia. So anybody down there in Australia and you're a high-performance shop, you're going to want to reach out to these guys. Go to the website, torquecalibrationservices.au.com or .com.au, and talk to Matt and make that connection because he's doing a great job down there. Also, Total Seal Piston Rings. If you missed out on the Trackside Tech Talk, which I understand, the Trackside Tech Talk was scheduled right on top of the Jegs All-Stars at 1 o'clock or vice versa. And so being that it was team racing, you might have wanted to learn a little bit more about ring seal, but you have to root on your team. Makes perfect sense. We're going to be doing it again in Charlotte. We're going to be doing it again in Dallas. We're going to be doing it again in Vegas. There will be multiple Trackside Tech Talks. If you didn't see it, you should see it. Greg Anderson stayed and watched the whole time. If it can entertain or inform GA for an hour, there's a lot of good information, and there was. TotalSeal.com, check them out. Samtech.edu, the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. Big thanks to those guys. Marvin Rodax, coffeeandgrills.com. Marvin out there watching, and he'll be down there in Ennis, Texas. It will be great. Our friends at Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, the Dragster Adventure. Also, Nitro Fish in their WFO store. And we're picking on Patreons as well. We're picking on them, and we're picking them up too. Like first we pick them up, and then we pick on them as part of the show. Patreon.com/WFO radio. Become a total insider. All right. I want to, before we have Reinhardt on, I want to get ahead of a couple of things. Like, okay, everybody. John Force crossing the center line. John Force crossing the center line. And all of you guys out there, all of you that are out there, and you're like, oh, he crossed the center line and they called it special for John Force. No, John Force, because it's John Force. I was there, and I will tell you that I also felt like maybe John had crossed the center line. But balls and strikes, sometimes bang, bang things, Fortunately, they could go out and they could check the tire track and see exactly where he went. But we do not have that liberty. So Reinhardt tweets a video from a fan in the stands that showed conclusively. And then we took that video, and Steve Brenwald from Brenwald Media created this. Bang. There it is, folks. There it is. Thanks to Steve Brenwald and Alan Reinhardt and the guy who took the video, and Brenwald going frame by frame from away from the line to the line to going away from the line again. I believe that WFO Radio, along with this guy whoever took the video, and Alan Reinhardt who tweeted the video, and Steve Brenwald who did the screen capture, and now WFO Radio putting it out there into the ether, can say conclusively, without doubt. Is there doubt? Does anyone look at that and come up with anything different? Did he cross the line? He did not cross the line. The rear tire is not across the line. The body is across the line. The header is across the line, as they are allowed to be. But the tire did not cross the line. And this is it. This is the scope. This is from the start to the finish of the moment. And thanks to Steve Brenwald for doing that. Right? And the emotion, like, don't get me wrong, I saw people were very emotional about it. Yeah, you guys up there. I won't say who it was, but it was good, though. That's what you need. Like, I saw that, and I figured, man, we're starting Indy off with a little controversy. Getting a little controversial out there, except not really, because I feel like this satisfies me. Being on the starting line, the perspective I was in, seeing it in real time, I was wondering. But then they made the call. And that's the deal. They're never going to say, oh, he crossed, but it's so-and-so. So we're going to call it a different way. Like, that's never going to happen, guys. It's just not. The conspiracy theorists out there. I know you probably would like that to be the case, but it's just not. They're going to go out. They're going to make a call based on the data that they have. And it's lucky. It's lucky that we have the tire track. Now, I immediately called for a laser beam to be run down the center of the track, just like on the starting line, right? Like the stage beam, and if you tick the thing, you tick it. And that's it. Just like instant replay. But I feel like hats off to the NHRA for waiting and doing what they deem to be right. Simple as that. Also, everybody, we've got Alan Reinhart tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time. 1 p.m. Eastern time. And big thanks to Eddie Krawiec. Let's see what everybody else has got to say. See what y'all got to say. This guy says LOL. So a vague commentary without telling us what your true feelings are. Another great show, Joe. I think I sound like a broken record in these final comments. Yes, Jeff, you do. You should. Enough of the sucking. Meaning positive. Give us something. Take the props to me as much as I love them and change it into something else. Let's see what else. Some fans will cry about anything instead of looking at the good. That is also true. That is also true. Fans want to look at its emotion. It's the human creature that is an emotional creature. And your first instinct is, rage and accusations. It's just, you're trying to screw me out of something. Oh, wait, no, it's just, never mind. It's the way it is. Brian M. on the safety safari calls him like he sees him. It was not an easy call either, by the way, like in real time. How about Brad Hardy with the burn down? Like we all, kind of judged it. And then you go back and you watch the video and it's like, oh yeah, it's easier to make the call like the fourth time in. It was a social media frenzy. It was, but that's good. It was good that everybody had their opinion. And now we have what I deem to be a conclusive evidence, right? Isn't it? Isn't that conclusive evidence? Thanks, Joe. Great job. You're entertaining and informative. I appreciate you. Alan, too, says Dragster Jeff. Thank you, Dragster Jeff. Hello from Jonesville, South Carolina. What's up there, Tom? Who works on cars? Looking forward to that hidden horsepower. Oh, yeah. It's going to be great. Troy, above all, amazing. Great show today, says Scott. Pickle Rick. Division 1, you're number 1, except you're not. Not this year. Now, of course, this year I spent the least amount of time like overtly rooting. Maybe that had something to do with it. But no, you just got to win those big rounds. When you get 3 guys in the final and they all lock it down, that's going to be what makes the difference. T. Warburg captions record 18th track championship at the Division 6 ET finals. Way to go, Troy. Good job, Woodburn. Good job, Woodburn. I set out Indy and went bracket racing indoor car in Phoenix yesterday. Got down to 4 cars and you went red. I heard about that. Great show. John stage in way less than 3 minutes. Yes, the bar is low. Thanks, Joe. Let's see what this. I wasn't able to watch this weekend. I won my event Sunday at Sacramento, ran 10.99 in the final. My first 10-second pass. I always support those who go do instead of watch. If you had the opportunity to go racing this weekend, that's what DVRs are for. Laser, perfect fix. Exactly. Down the center, an infrared, all the way down, 1,320 feet. You touch the laser, that's it. You're out. But, do we really care about that? Taylor, I have to agree on the D1 front. Well, you guys just had a chance. And Division 2 scored the most points. And so I guess we should do this again next year. Jeff, who has made the call and has worked at CompuLink and knows about running lasers, no matter what call you make, it's wrong to someone. Absolutely. Even if they don't even believe that it's wrong. A lot of people just get in that social media fight to be in the social media fight. Right? Like, let me stir the pot. You don't think that a percentage of all the people complaining about that were just doing it to like get under someone's skin? And don't we like that? I think that's what we're supposed to do. Like the Ojan Provocatorum out there. Come on. As soon as that happened, I thought, oh, it was good. It is good. 72 Olds, our only Twitch watcher. Thank you, 72 Olds, for watching on Twitch. Trying to make the Twitch thing, man. Everybody said, oh, Twitch, that's where it's at. I was hoping John Force didn't cross, but he's doing it more often. Is he? No, he's not. He was for a while back 2 years ago, but now he's not anymore. I don't know. I can't remember the last time John crossed. The guy's been good at, he saved that. I could have easily crossed. How about J.R. Todd coming back on Jim Campbell? How about that? How about J.R. Todd staging the car? We'll talk about this tomorrow with Reinhart. Let's see what 72 Old said. Did I miss the sugar coating of how bad the right lane was, especially in the first round? No, you did not sugarcoat it. How dare you, 72 Olds? Let's talk about it. How dare you? What was your solution to that? See, that's the thing. We lost Saturday due to a, hellacious storm over the Midwest all day long. There was nothing that could have been done. In fact, most people were disappointed. If we're talking about people who were angry, they were angry that NHRA stuck with it too long. Like, hey, man, it's pretty obvious it's going to rain out, so let us go, is what the majority of the angry people were saying on Saturday. And so Saturday happens. You get one session of nitro cars down the track, Friday night. And then you get a massive rain. And from what I understand, there were some concrete repairs, some track prep repairs that have happened. And it just caused a situation that you all lived. Like, okay, so what is to be done about that situation? How can you, like your plane, you're supposed to go out at 3 p.m., but the plane gets stuck somewhere else and now you're going to be late and you miss your flight. Like, it's a terrible spot. I get it. But what could have happened to make it not happen? And so what they did was they worked on it and worked on it and worked on it. We had racing prior to our pre-race ceremonies. We were putting Lucas Oil Series cars down the racetrack, but it's not like there were a lot of things that happened that were just a tragic situation because of the weather. And it rained all night. It's a miracle it was as good as it was. And then ultimately, by the semifinals and finals, Wilkerson outruns Caps in the right lane. And there were 9 final round winners coming out of the right, and there were 9 final round winners coming out of the left, according to Steve Brenwald from Brenwald Media. So, yeah, there was a blip in the first round, but also at the same time, at the same exact moment, there were missed opportunities also. Like Jim Campbell. The car shuts down on him, and he, like they're slow rolling. Ron Tobler said it. Ron Tobler, who I watched just his first round deal with Amanda. I thought he did a great job. It's not easy for either. There's not one good lane and one terrible lane. Both lanes are okay. Maybe the right lane was worse in the first round, sure, but the lower qualified cars were there, and there could have been a couple of round wins coming out of the right lane if they had just gone down the racetrack. So they were trying too hard for what was there. Could have programmed in a 405, 420, got down one race. So I'm not going to be critical of something that it just was. It was the character of this specific event, the 2021 edition, where it rained all day Saturday and the right lane had a tough go of it. But the NHRA stopped the race. They went out there. They did extreme update and prep. You know who told me about it? And I don't know if I'm supposed to say this stuff, but I'll say it because the guy's great. Jerry Haas. It's like they're doing all they could. Did you hear Bobby Lagana? Like they're doing all they can. It was they were getting credit. The safety safari was getting credit from the crew chiefs for doing the best they could with a difficult deal and stopping the race and scraping the track and working on it. Like, so I don't choose to look at it as the need to sugarcoat it. It was a statement of fact. The right lane was trickier because of the weather. What are we supposed to do? What are they supposed to do? Like, what's the solution that I didn't come up with? Right. Final round, Stanfield spun. Yeah, was right off the starting line, though. No one was talking about the starting line on the right side. It was a couple hundred feet out that the real problem was. 9-9. I agree that, and you're going for it in the final. It's easy to step over the line, I think. Mopar Man says, good day, y'all. Let's see. Bill. What's up, Bill? Hi from Denver. Glad I don't listen to social media. Yeah. Well, Bill, it's good and bad. It's good and bad. Like, it's good to know what's out there, but it's bad if you take it personal. Just don't. Sorry, phone rang. Even Ron said it was more than coincidence. No, it wasn't coincidence. It was a circumstance, which is different. The rain on, this is what I did. I talked to everybody. The rain on Saturday made it especially challenging. Hats off to the safety safari and the track staff after all that rain. Exactly. It could have been way worse is the way I'm looking at it. Derek says, laser wouldn't work. Blocks in the way too. If the car leans, trips the tires. Well, then let's leave it a balls and strikes deal. Like, do you want the laser strike zone in baseball? They can do that, the laser strike zone and get the umpires off the field. And just the pitcher's got to get in that box and nothing else matters. Do we want that? It changes the game. I don't know. I felt like they got it right. They got it right. And every single fan that tweeted their outrage, they should go and just send out an apology tweet. Dear at NHRA, I am deeply apologetic for the outrage I showed during the round 1 call of John Force, where I suggested impropriety. Take it all back. Please accept my humble apologies. Something like that. Do it. Do it. Let's see, what's this? Felt bad for Clay and Salinas, but that's how it goes sometimes. Right. Okay. So, what could have been done? There's, go back to the schedule makers, to the beginning of the event, prior to the end of COVID, prior to the end of all that stuff. Not that COVID is over, but you get what I'm saying. When they were plotting out the 2021 U.S. Nationals and how many qualifying sessions there would be. And, maybe there should have been one more. But when they made that schedule, vaccines weren't available. There were a lot of things that we were in a totally different place. It is what it is. And by the way, Clay Millican gained like 600 points on the leader by not qualifying. It was just disappointing that Clay did not get to be in the race. Very disappointing. We did an interview with Clay during the rain delay. We tried to do some new stuff where we got out into the actual rain delay and put it up on NHRA.TV and Sunoco Vision. And I felt like that was pretty cool. The Clay interview, they rained it out before we got it to the air, but he was feeling it and suffered not making Indy. Mike Salinas and Alan Johnson as well. But I just don't see. There was a lot of talk about a qualifying session on Sunday morning, and it's just not possible with live TV on Fox. It's not possible. You can't play fast and loose with the schedule that way, because you make an agreement with Fox. They're going to show your race live on the big network. Final rounds need to happen when we say they are. And if you don't think television is important, that's a different discussion. I think it is. And Timmy wins in the bad lane. I was surprised by that. I was surprised. Come on, listen, I had picked Caps to win on our Patreon show, but Tim Wilkerson winning is never bad, because Richard Hartman and all those guys like Tim Wilkerson, Wilkes Warriors, you guys got to be so happy. And as Caps goes another year, knocks on the door, and Indy says no. But Tim Wilkerson, come on, Tim Wilkerson is as good a guy as it gets. And he just won Indy. Like, that is so awesome. Tim Wilkerson's going to drag race another 20 years because of this. At this point, an asteroid could hit Earth, and it's NHRA's fault. To some people, Top Fuel 173, yes, exactly. You have to understand that when you go to social media, for every 100 humans there's going to be 20 that are just really active with crazy opinions. This is about every subject. Let's see. Why was Steve Collier DQ'd? I heard that, but I got to go reconvene. We'll talk to Reinhardt about that. Ignition tonight. No ignition tonight. Maybe. No, I doubt it. Especially as the day went on. Well, exactly. Stephen Glenn, enjoy the Facebook Lives. We were hustling on Facebook Live. We were hustling. Saw wins in both lanes. No Hagen. TJ steps in. Pin breaks. Right lane controversy. Not really. I talked to Dickie. I talked to Alex about it. They said they would make the exact same decision every single time, even knowing the outcome. Unsafe for Tommy to go down the racetrack in that deal. Something broke on the wheelie bar with the pin. That's it. And also, I feel bad for TJ, but, I don't know what's going to happen with Hagen. That's a whole different story. But I get it that TJ was going to get points for Hagen and, I don't know. The cosmos works in mysterious ways. Maybe it worked out right. Tater says the right lane was bad. It was worse. Guys won a lot of races in the right lane. Nice meeting you. Nice meeting you. Good call on the mic. Reinhardt enjoyed. Pack stands. Good to see. Great stuff. It was all great. Didn't hear why Angel's bike was pulling right after the finish line. Crosswind? Well, that's what Eddie said. There was a left to right crosswind. But we'll have to talk to Angel. Guys, Team Woodburn. All right. So no 72 olds. There was no sugarcoating of anything. This is WFO. I feel like we address everything. From a balanced perspective, though. Would love to have seen Caps, but Wilk winning, very pleased. Monica, it was nice to see Tim felt really bad for Caps. Shelly Caps' birthday. He goes to the final. Yes, he wants to win. Honestly, though, if Ron Capps never wins Indy, it's not changing my opinion of him as a driver at all. I think it's a circumstance. Like Ron Capps has already like locked himself into the greats of all time category. He's got the key to the VIP washroom. He'll get it. He's not going anytime soon. Knocking at the door. Wilkerson said, like flat out, he goes, Capps has beaten me like 4 in a row in finals or something. Wilkerson had runner-up 9 times. So he was mad. He was driving angry. And he got all angry on Ron Capps and went 391 in the right lane, the bad lane that no one could get down apparently, except he did, and he won it. It's drag racing. That's why we fresh paint the center line just before the race and touch it up each nice if needed. It's easy to see the tire marks on a clean center line, says Jeff Foster from the strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Exactly. Thank you very much, Jeff. Jeff, who has spent more time in race control than most people have alive. Like just being alive. No one is ever making a decision, well, twisting the mustache. That just doesn't happen. That's your imagination, folks. You got to take that off the desk. Once again, all run top fuel fields. Well, that's something to think about. Capps is the people's champ. I felt a little bad for Capps, but got over it quickly. DW. Yeah. Daniel Wilkerson, who was a hero this week, by the way. You guys don't understand this, but it's true. Daniel Wilkerson was a hero. Yeah, they didn't qualify with Chad's car. They'll be back out. Chad Green's going to do well and win races. He just needs to be out there more. And I had a good conversation with him, Daniel, about that, like getting out there more. We need the car, and we want Chad to be out there because we think he's a cool character, right? But Dan Wilkerson was a hero because myself and Nikki from the social media team were stuck in the rain, and he gave us a ride to the tower. What did you think? It was something important? No way. Thank you, Daniel. It was great. Like we had resigned ourselves to getting wet on Saturday afternoon. Like, this is it. We're about to get wet. And we started to walk, and then I came up with this brilliant idea. Hey, there's Daniel. Give us a ride. And he did. All right, any final thoughts, guys, before we exit the first show? Keith Howard, All-Star Showdown, call-outs. The bonus race, exactly. Oh, NHRA and the bonus. We got the bonus races back. 2 of them. One at Gainesville, one at Indy. Top Fuel funny car with, what is it? Like $150,000 prize money up for grabs. Dear NHRA, I panicked and said, and I thought that everything was going to be canceled and over and the sport was going to founder. And I tweeted that out to all my friends and I told them that I wasn't confident. And turns out I was wrong. Turns out I had no confidence in the people behind the scenes, but they actually were putting up their own money to create this great bonus race with call outs. I thought the call outs were a good idea and that nobody was listening. And I kept saying it over and over again on my social media, but NHRA, turns out they were listening. They were just waiting for the right time to reveal that they were going to go with the good idea and try it out. Hashtag, I'm sorry. Yeah, that doesn't really ever happen. It's kind of interesting. Not that it should. Jerron's show name. It's called the Jerron Settles Drag Racing Experience with Jerron Settles. There it is. There's a temperature minimum, 40 degrees for the nitro cars, and their fuel was too cold in the lanes. We'll talk to Reinhardt a little bit about it. Mopar Man, Teardown Garage video. If you haven't seen it, haven't gone and seen all of it. Like, it was good stuff. Lonnie, though. But that wasn't good because of me. That was good because of Lonnie. Wilkes had a great year. AA fuel altered, 4-second, 300 mile per hour. Now an Indy win. Oh, it's kind of interesting that you put that all together. Jerron, you're siphoning my audience off, bud. There it is. You're siphoning the WFO universe off. This has got to be worth something. I don't know what, but it's got to be worth something. Let's see. The WFO universe took 10 years to build. So, see you at the Grove. I love it. All right, everybody. We're about to get on out of here. WFO style. Really appreciate all of you. Everybody. Indy was awesome. But when we get back to the full pull next year, where we're back racing on Monday, that's another one that I don't even know if I agree with. Just goes to show you. Like, I could make a real competitive argument for Sunday being the day. But the fans spoke. They wanted to race on Monday. They wanted Monday. And so many people told me they like Monday. And I'm like, well, what about Labor Day with the family? Don't you want to be with your family on Labor Day? And they said no. Their family's at the track. They want to be racing on the historic Monday at the U.S. Nationals. That's what they want to do. That's what it is. That's what it's all about. And I was like, yeah, but see, there's greater wisdom than mine for certain. U.S. Nationals happens on Monday, period. End of story. Tradition, but Sunday was good too, but I can see Monday. No, it's not even our choice anymore. Nothing is ever impossible. Say it loudly. Pro Stock dreams. Get my Pro Stock license. F cancer. Don't know to quit, says Jeff. Good job, Jeff. I agree with you. Save Monday for a travel day or a rain day. Yeah, that's what I think too. That's what my logic says. But I get it too. And save Tuesday for a rain day. And it is what it is. Open the gates, baby. Open the gates. All right, everybody. That is going to do it. Appreciate you. Remember, tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern Time, we got Alan Reinhart. We're going to recap it with Reinhart. Thanks to Jackie for coming on the show. And just remember this. Just remember that. All right, everybody. Stay tuned for more WFO winners. Who, when, how, no clue. WFO.